الله عليه وسلم قال من لم يبيت الصيام قبل الفجر فلا صيام له رواه الخمسة ومال الترمذي والنسائي إلى ترجيء وقفه وصححه مرفوعا ابن خزيمة وابن حبان وللدارقطني لا صيام لمن لم يفرده من الليل. Are always like that? Or there is a difference? It said, one Hafsata, this hadith was reported in the authority of Hafsa, al-Mu'mineen, the mother of the believers, radiyallahu anha, may Allah Ta'ala be pleased with her. And then Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam called, that verily the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, Man lam yubayyit as-siyama qabla al-fajr. Whoever does not make the intention qabla al-fajr, before the fajr, fala siyama lahu. There is no fasting for him or her. Rawahu al-khamsa. 5 of the hadith narrators narrated this hadith. وَمَالَ التِّرْمِذِي, but Imam Tirmizi is inclined, وَالنَّسَائِ, and Imam al-Nasa'i ila tarjih waqfi. They are of the opinion that the hadith is mawquf. وَصَحَّحَهُ مَرْفُوعًا Ibn Khuzaymah, that Ibn Khuzaymah has authenticated this hadith marfu'an and elevated it to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, wa Ibn Hibban and Ibn Hibban. Walidarqutni, and in the narration of Imam ad-Darqutni, la siyama, there is no fasting, liman lam yafridhu min al-layl, for whosoever does not make the intention in the night. I think the hadith is understood. Let's go back to the hadith again. One Hafsata, this hadith was reported in the authority of Hafsa, al-Mu'mineen, the mother of the believers, radiyallahu anha, may Allah Ta'ala be pleased with her. And then Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam called, that verily the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, Man lam yubayyit as-siyam qabla al-fajr, whoever does not make the intention of the fasting qabla al-fajr, before the fajr, fala siyama lahu, there is no fasting for him. Rawahu al-khamsa. 5 of the hadith narrators narrated this hadith. وَمَالَ التِّرْمِذِي, but Imam al-Tirmizi, Abu Isa, Muhammad ibn Isa ibn Sawra al-Tirmizi, وَالنَّسَائِ, and Imam al-Nasa'i, Ahmad ibn Shu'aib, they are of the opinion that the hadith is mawquf. That is, it is not elevated to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but it stops at the companion Hafsa. وَصَحَّحَهُ مَرْفُوعًا, but Ibn Khuzaymah and Ibn Hibban, they have the opinion that the hadith is marfu', that it is elevated to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and it is authentic. Walidarqutni, and Imam ad-Darqutni has this narration, La siyama, there is no fast, liman lam yafridhu min al-layl, for whosoever does not make the intention in the night. And the hadith is authentic. We are together? Now, if you look at the hadith, the hadith says, Man lam yubayyit as-siyam, whosoever does not make the intention of fast. Now, all the narrations do not differentiate between an obligatory fasting and a voluntary fast. Both ahadith say man lam yubayyit as-siyam, one, and the other one says la siyama, la siyaman, ay fardan kana aw naflan, whether the siyam is obligatory or it is supererogatory. What the Prophet said is there is no fast for whosoever does not make the intention for the fast in the night. So it follows that for every act of ibadah, there must be intention. Like you read in the hadith of Umar ibn Khattab, that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Innamal a'malu bin niyyat, wa innama likulli imrihim ma nawa." So it follows that intention is obligatory for fast. So if you do not make intention for fasting, you do not have the fast. Now when it is said that la siyama, there is no fast, liman lam yafridhu, for whosoever does not make the intention of obligating it on himself in the night, it does not have the fast. We have told ourselves here severally that this intention is not uttered verbally. It's understood? That the intention is made in the heart. So some of the scholars are of the opinion that at-talaffuz bin-niyya bid'atun. At-talaffuz biha bid'ah. So the intention is in the heart. But the believer must decisively make the intention in his heart that he's going to fast the following day. And this intention must be made in the night, anytime in the night, ama before the appearance of the Fajr. Are we together? Are we together? So it shows that it is obligatory for one to make the intention for fasting before his fast becomes valid and acceptable to Allah. And then this hadith demonstrates to us that the intention must be made before the Fajr. It's understood? So if the intention is not made before the Fajr, are we together? If it is made after the Fajr, this hadith demonstrates that the person does not have the fast. Fardan kana aw naflan. Are we together?
No.
Are we together?
No.
This hadith demonstrates that whether the fast is an obligatory fast or a voluntary fast, you must make the intention in the night before the Fajr. So if you make the intention after Fajr, you do not have the fast. Now, majority of the scholars are of the opinion that this hadith that is before us is referring to the obligatory fast and not the voluntary fast. Are we together? The reason why they say that this hadith is referring to the obligatory fast and not the voluntary fast is because of the ahadith that we are going to read behind this hadith. We understand? Now, the hadith or ahadith that follow this hadith that is before us, you find the hadith of Aisha radiallahu anha, and we are going to read it. وعن عائشة رضي الله عنها قالت, that this hadith was reported in authority of Aisha, may Allah Ta'ala be pleased with her. She said, دخل علي النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم ذات يوم فقال هل عندكم شيء. That the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam entered unto me one day and he said, "Oh Aisha, is there something with you? Any food at home?" قلنا لا. We said, there's no food, there's nothing. قال. Then the Prophet said, فإني صائم. In one narration he said, فإني إذن صائم. So since you said there is no food, then I'm fasting. It's understood. And the Prophet had entered onto them after Fajr. And he asked them, is there any food? They said there is no food. And they said, فَإِنِّي صَائِمٌ. Or فَإِنِّي إِذًا صَائِمٌ. Since you said there is no food, then I'm fasting. ثُمَّ أَتَانَا يَوْمًا آخَرَ. Then the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam came to us another day. فَقُلْنَا. And then we told him, أُهْدِيَ لَنَا حَيْثٌ. That we were gifted, we were given food. Somebody, a neighbor, presented us with food of hayth. Are you understanding me? Hayth is beloved food to the Arabs. It's made of dates and other condiments that are added. They love to eat it. Faqala, then the Prophet said, Arinihi, show it to me. Where is it? Here, he said, Arinihi, show it to me. فَلَقَدْ أَصْبَحْتُ صَائِمًا. But I woke up fasting. Now, the Prophet is telling Aisha that he woke up fasting. He had woken up fasting. But now when he entered onto Aisha, and Aisha said, we have hayth at home, فَأَكَلَ. And he ate. Raw Muslim. This hadith is reported by Imam Muslim. Now, you can see that the first leg of the hadith of Aisha, she said, دَخَلَ عَلَيَّ النَّبِي, that the Prophet Muhammad entered unto me. ذَاتَ يَوْمٍ, one day. فَقَالَ, and the Prophet said, هَلْ عِنْدَكُمْ شَيْءٍ, do you have something with you? عَلَى النَّافِعِ. Are we together? Thirdly, we say, if one is prohibiting and one is permitting, which we give preference to? Which one do we give preference to? We give preference to the prohibition over the what? Over the permission. Are we together? Preference is given over prohibition over the what? Permission. Since the Prophet said, Innal halala bayyin, wa innal harama bayyin, wa baynahuma umurun mushtabihatun la ya'lamuhunna kathirun minan nas. And he said, Man ittaqa shubuhat istabra li dinihi wa 'irdi. Wa man waqa'a fi shubuhat, he said, waqa'a fil haram. Karra'i yar'a hawla al-hima yushiku an yartafi. So in that regard, majority of the scholars akhazu maslak al-jam in these two ahadiths that are before us. Majority of the scholars of the opinion that these ahadiths can be married together. So they say, how do we marry them? They said the hadith of Hafsa is referring to obligatory fast. Are we together? While the hadith of Aisha is referring to voluntary fast. Are we together? So it follows that for obligatory fast, you must make the intention in the night before Fajr. Are we together? But if it is a voluntary fast, they said the intention can be made after Fajr. According to Imam Abu Hanifa, but before Zawal. Before Zawal. Are we together? May Allah be with us. There are even some scholars who say that even after the Zawal, the intention can be made anytime in the afternoon. Are we together? But Imam Abu Hanifa is of the opinion that even the obligatory fast, Imam Abu Hanifa, Nu'man ibn Thabit, is of the opinion that even the obligatory fast, one can make intention after Fajr. We have told you that majority of the scholars are of the opinion that for obligatory fast, you must make the intention before the Fajr. But for supererogatory fast or voluntary fast, you can make the intention after the Fajr. This is what the majority say. Unlike Imam Malik. You know Imam Malik, the Al-Layth ibn Sa'ad al-Misri, they have the opinion that both the obligatory fast and the voluntary fast, both you must make the intention before Fajr. This is the position of Imam Malik. Following this hadith of Hafsa, because he said the hadith of Hafsa did not differentiate. He says, Man lam yubayyit as-siyam, fardan kana aw naflan. Are we together? And he says, the hadith of Aisha, it cannot be said that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam had not made the intention in the night. Most likely, he had made the intention that, yes, if, are we together? In the night, if I find something to eat, I may not fast, but if I don't find anything to eat, I will fast. And he had made it in the night. Are we together? Are we together? But Imam Abu Hanifa is of the opinion that even the obligatory fast, you can make the intention after Fajr. Why did he say that? He said the Quran tells you that you should eat and drink until you are able to distinguish between and the min al-fajr. Then he said, the Quran now says, ثُمَّ أَتِمُّ الصِّيَامَ إِلَى اللَّيْلِ. So when the Quran says, كُلُوا وَاشْرَبُوا حَتَّى يَتَبَيَّنَ لَكُمُ الْخَيْطُ الْأَبْيَضُ مِنَ الْخَيْطِ الْأَسْوَدِ مِنَ الْفَجْرِ. He said, you see, you continue to eat until Fajr. Then after you have eaten to Fajr, ثُمَّ أَتِمُّ الصِّيَامَ إِلَى اللَّيْلِ. Then it is then, after that, ثُمَّ تُفِيدُ التَّرَاخِي, and then after that you complete the fast to the night. So he says, so it is after the Fajr that you make the intention. Are we together with him? Are you together with what he's saying? So Imam Abu Hanifa is of the opinion that the intention can be made after Fajr, amma before the Zawal. Now, even if he understands that from the ayah, we have told ourselves that Imam al-Awza'i has told us that the Quran is more in need of the Sunnah than the Sunnah is of the Quran. And Sheikh Muhammad Nasiruddin al-Albani has written a small book of كيف يجب علينا أن نفسر القرآن. كيف يجب علينا أن نفسر القرآن. We are not Quraniyun. Are we together? The Quraniyun are not Muslims. Are we together? Anybody who will say he will practice this deen with the Quran alone, without the Sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, is not a Muslim. Are you understanding me? You know, Islam is built on 5 arkan. And he says, Buni al-Islam ala khamsin. The first, Shahadatu an la ilaha illallah wa anna Muhammadan. They come together. Wa anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. So, anybody who seeks to separate between Allah and His Messenger is not a Muslim. There is no way you believe in Allah and you say you don't believe in Muhammad. There is no way you say you believe in the Quran, but you do not believe in the authentic Sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The Prophet said, "Utitul Quran wa mithluhu ma'hu." So the Prophet has been given the Quran and it's like. That's the Sunnah. Are we together? So, in most cases, even the companions could not understand the Quran until they took recourse to the Sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And we have cited several examples. Especially when we're talking about فَكُلُوا وَاشْرَبُوا حَتَّى يَتَبَيَّنَ لَكُمُ الْخَيْطُ الْأَبْيَضُ مِنَ الْخَيْطِ الْأَسْوَدِ مِنَ الْفَجْرِ ثُمَّ أَتِمُّوا الصِّيَامَ إِلَى اللَّيْلِ. We told ourselves that Adi ibn Hatim, he said, some of the companions will hide a black thread and a white thread. They were thinking it is the physical thread. So they looked for both the white and the black and hid under their pillows and their sleeping places. And they eat and drink and then they watch to see whether they can differentiate between the two. They could not understand this ayah until they went to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he did what? He explained it for them. When Allah Ta'ala says, Inna Allaha wa malaikatahu yusalluna ala nabi ya ayyuhalladhina amanu sallu alayhi wa sallimu taslima. Ka'b ibn Ujra, he told us that we had to go to the Prophet. Yes, with regards to salam, we have known how to do the salam. Amma kayfa nusalli alayk. Kayfa nusalli alayk. How do we do the salat on you? The Prophet said, Kulu. So it followed that they could not understand that ayah until they went back to the one who the ayah was revealed unto. So for anybody to come today, and the Prophet has told us in the hadith of Tirmidhi, that a time will come when somebody will be sitting on his arika, on his cushion, and then the hadith is brought from me that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, and you will say, Baynana wa baynakum kitabullah. So the Prophet has told us that a time will come when my hadith will go to some people and say, no, between me and you is the book of Allah. Whatever we find there, that's what we go for. Whatever is not in the book of Allah, you leave it. This person is denying the ahadith of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So you cannot use the Sunnah, you cannot use the Quran without recourse to the Sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So even if Abu Hanifa quotes this ayah and understands from it that you can do the intention after Fajr, are we together? And then we find an authentic hadith from the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam saying, "Man lam yubayyit as-siyama min al-layl, fala siyama lahu." Who do we follow? I say, who do we follow? Da'u kulla qawlin inda qawli Muhammadin. So, if Imam Abu Hanifa says, and what he says goes contrary to the authentic Sunnah, we pray for Abu Hanifa. May Allah Ta'ala forgive him. And then we go on to holding tenaciously onto what is authentic from the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Are we together? May Allah Ta'ala be with us. Now, when the Prophet said Man lam yubayyin, that you were going to break the fast. You said, there is a decisive intention, deliberate, that you are going to break the fast. But later you say, then you decided to go on. Are you fasting? I say, are you fasting? Is your fasting there? Hmm? That's right. That's right. Jur'ah. They don't have any fear. He has not read anything with regards to it. And he doesn't have any fear with regards to it. Subhanallah. You know, scholars of the past, even when they have read and questions are asked, they don't just go in like that. You are very daring in fatwa. Anybody who is so daring will be daring to enter hellfire. Huh? So don't do at-taqawwul ala Allah. لو تقول علينا بعد الأقاويل لأخذنا منه باليمين ثم لقطعنا. It is not about yourself they are asking. They are asking about Allah and His Messenger and the religion of Allah. And you have not read and you just feel free to go. Subhanallah. To zeji bani sun da na agana. Ja bele o to work ba. Muhammad ibn Munkadir, he says that he's afraid that for him to come before Allah, and somebody says, why did you do this? They say it is Muhammad ibn Munkadir that said we should do. What will I tell Allah if I don't have a hujjah? So whenever you say Allah said, you are talking about the religion of Allah. You must have evidence. We have told ourselves that Sa'id ibn Jubayr, you remember? Sa'id ibn Jubayr, one night, he was asking his students that who among you saw the shooting star yesterday night? And Hussein ibn Abdurrahman, or Abdurrahman ibn Hussein, that was seated, and he said, I saw it. I saw the shooting star. And he asked him, what did you do when you saw it? And he said, irtaqaytu, that I did what? Ruqya. And Sa'id ibn Jubayr asked him, ma hamalaka ala dhalik. They always want to ask for hujjah. When you say you did ruqya, are you understanding me? Because he said, okay, that the reason why I saw the shooting star is because I was stung by a scorpion or a snake, so it did not allow me to sleep. It's not as if I was praying. So Sayyid ibn Jubayr said to him, when you were stung by the scorpion, what did you do? And he said, irtaqaytu, I did ruqya. And he said, ma hamalaka ala dhalik. Who told you to do the ruqya? What evidence do you have to do ruqya after being stung? And he said, hadithun haddasanahu ash-Sha'bi. And he said, we have a hadith from ash-Sha'bi that Burayda ibn Husayn says that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, la ruqya illa min aynin aw humma. So they are always asking for evidences. And then Sa'id ibn Jubayr told him, he said, قَدْ أَحْسَنَ مَنْ انْتَهَى إِلَى مَا سَمِعَهُ. So what we are saying is that whatever you want to do of the deen, have what? Hujjah. And when they ask you and you don't have hujjah, don't say it. Don't do at-taqawwul ala Allah. It's unfortunate, no? So, there are scholars, especially among the Shafi'is, who have the opinion that once you have, since the intention is the heart, the intention is in the heart. إنما الأعمال بالنيات وإنما لكل امرئ ما نوى. So قد نويت. You have already made the intention decisively that you are going to break your fast. They said that intention that you are going to break the fast has broken the fast, even if you did not break the fast. It appears new, it appears new. That is what the Shafi'is say. And it is also qawlun lil Hanabila. Are we together? That if you intend, you make the intention of breaking the fast, even if you did not break it, your fast is broken. Are we together? Are we together? So that you don't play with this religion fast. Are we together? So that you don't play with the religion. So once you are fasting, be decisive that you are going to fast. Don't ever make the mistake of making the intention that Kai, as in Kai, make me ask in the band. Are you understanding me? So they say that intention that you've made has already broken the fast, even if you do not break the fast. They said why? They said because the Prophet said, لِكُلِّ امْرِهِمْ مَا نَوَى. So since قَدْ نَوَيْتَ فَلَكَ مَا نَوَيْتَ. لَكَ مَا نَوَيْتَ. So your fast is no more. So they say that even if you did not break it, after the Ramadan, you are going to compensate it. In spite of the fact that you did not eat and you did not drink. Are we together? But they say that if you are hesitant, you are wavering, your heart is wavering, am I going to break it? Am I not going to break it? Are you understanding me? Then here, there's a difference of opinions of scholars. There are some who have the opinion that it is broken, but Sheikh Salih Al-Uthaymeen, in Sharh al-Mumti al-Azad al-Mustaqni, he says, are you understanding me? That the fast is there, since you have not made a decisive intention. So the fast is there. But if you have decided, even if you did not break it, they say your fast is no more. خلافا لما قاله المالكية. The Malikis have the opinion that since you have not broken it, are you understanding me? Since you have not broken it, the fast is there. Are we together? So don't just, something you have not read, they just raise it and you just feel free and go and sleep. Kaya magana akan addinin Allah. And you do not even have any hujjah, you have not even read. That's not good for students of knowledge. A student of knowledge does not speak until he has read. And even when you have read, don't rush in making fatwa when you are asked. There are great scholars of repute. When you ask them, they don't immediately answer. They will tell you to come back the following day. We have told you here that when the companions of the Prophet are seated and somebody comes to ask, if I ask him, he will say, go and ask this person. He too will say, go and ask this person. He will say, until you come back to him. Then he will answer and the rest will affirm it. Because they are afraid of at-taqawwul ala Allah. And to say in this deen what they do not know. But we have not read much. We are even praying for people to come and ask us so that we will tell them that we have read. Subhanallah. So one shine, empty vessels make the loudest noise. Those who have read and they know, they don't easily rush into answering questions when they are asked. May Allah Ta'ala be with us. Are we together? Can we go ahead? You still have time? Time has gone. They say the time is against us? Okay. So
question.
he said, did somebody ask a question? I understand you. You see, yours is not a question. Yours, you see, I want to make it like a class. I want to make it like a class. Are you understanding me? Shah Waliyullah ad-Dahlawi, he wrote a book on Al-Insaf fi Asbab al-Ikhtilaf. Are you understanding me? And Sheikh Salih al-Uthaymeen also wrote Asbab al-Khilaf. And Taha Jabir al-Alwani has also wrote on Adab al-Khilaf al-Islam, the ethics of disagreement in Islam, and several others that have written. Are you understanding me? So I want to have a time when we resume our classes, when we will take 2-3 classes to revisit these books, to know why in Islam, and Amru Abdul Mun'im Salim, he wrote a book, Ar-Ra'yu wal-Ra'yu al-Akhar. Ar-Ra'yu wal-Ra'yu al-Akhar. So that you know that as far as this religion is concerned, in every issue, you find several opinions of scholars. Beautifully, I have brought the book of Ibn Hazm al-Andalusi here. Right? And you see what Ibn Hazm al-Andalusi does? Before a week. Are you understanding me? So we look at who? What? Not who. So we told ourselves that al-haqqu la yu'raf bil-rijal. Lakin i'rif al-haqq ta'rif al-rijal. It's understood? So as students of knowledge, are we together? As students of knowledge, let us try to see what all of them have said. Then let us stay with who has the truth. And like we told ourselves that here, it is not majority that carries the vote. No. Abdullah ibn Mas'ud says the majority is the one who has the truth, even if he's alone. The majority is one who is with the truth, even if he is one. Ama in the akthariya ahyanan, you are told that walakinna akthara nasi la ya'lamun, walakinna akthara nasi la ya'qilun, la yashkurun, la so so it's not no. So the one who has the truth is the majority, even if he's just one person. And all others, if the truth is not with them, we don't go with them. We go with who has the truth. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون والسلام على المرسلين الحمد لله رب العالمين.